Nist Special Publication 800-53, Revision 4, and is made by the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technologies, and it is free to download. So you can either go to this link that I have here, or you can just go to the link section at the end of this domain, but it is something that I would recommend downloading. And the full length of the document might seem a little daunting. It is 462 pages, but really the important parts is less than 100. And of those, you really just need the highlights, at least for this certification. Revision 4 was published in April of 2013 and updated in January of 2015. And that is the version that you will be tested on this exam. And version 5 of 800-53 is going to be published in the summer of 2019, but at least for the certification, that is not so important. Because until the next revision of the certification, you will be tested on version 4. The full name of Nist Special Publication 800-53 Revision 4 is Security and Private Controls for Federal Information Systems and Organizations. And it is basically a standard that any federal organization needs to adhere to. And then on top of that, anyone who wants to do business with the federal organizations or the federal government also have to adhere to this standard. But it is also free knowledge. If we need to implement security and privacy controls, why go out and spend years and millions of dollars to develop it when someone has done it for us and it is probably already a better product? And the name for Revision 5 is going to change slightly. They are just going to call it Security and Privacy Controls. All the federal stuff is taken out because they realize so many other people are using it. And if you look at the image over here on the right, you can see that they use a 3-tiered model. Tier 1 is the organization, Tier 2 is the mission and business processes, and Tier 3 is our information systems. Whereas at the top of the pyramid we have the strategic risks, at the bottom we have the tactical risks. And very oversimplified, the organization in Tier 1 is where senior management or the board of directors goes in and decides what is important to us. As we talked about in the last domain, this is the vision, the mission, the ethics that we have, and with that we then build Tier 2. And that's all the processes that we build using Tier 1. So that's our policies, our procedures, our guidelines. This is also where we establish the security categories or the security tiers that we use and the enterprise architecture. And we then use all that for Tier 3, our information systems. And we then break Tier 3 even further down. In Tier 3, we use a 6-step process. And this publication, Nist 800-53, only focuses on step number 2. Select security controls. And for the entire 6-step process, you can see the different frameworks and publications we would use for each step. And then we can use tailoring or scoping. And what is so nice about the Nist publications, not just this one, but really all of them, is they are so detailed. With this one, we can go in and look at the security controls, which are organized into 18 families. And then each of those families have different security controls that we can use on different systems. If you look here, you can see the 18 families. The first one, for instance, access control. And then you can drill down into each of the controls we have for each family. So let's continue with access control. You scroll down here. And if we just look at the first 2 controls, AC-1 and AC-2, you can see over here on the right, the baselines are divided into low, moderate, and high. So with AC-1, access control policy and procedures, regardless if we're looking at low, moderate, or high, we would implement AC-1. But if we look at account management, AC-2, you can see on low, we would only implement AC-2, just the baseline. If it's moderate, then we'll implement the baseline plus the first 4 security controls. And if it is high, we'll implement the baseline, the same 4, but would also implement security control 5, 11, 12, and 13. And let's scroll a little further down and look at those controls. Let's say we look at AC-2, 4. That's account management, automated audit actions. So for our moderate and our high, we would implement that. And we can then drill even further into that one control and see account management, automated audit action has the information system automatically audits account creation, modification, enabling, disabling, and removal action. And then it notifies whomever in the organization is defined as the personnel who needs to be told or the roles that need to be told. And then on top of that, it also has a list of the related controls. And while doing something like this can seem overwhelming and daunting, you obviously know how to use good project management, and you understand that each task you can break down into manageable work packages. You don't try to do everything at once, but you do one thing at a time. And just imagine how crazy it would have been if you needed to design all this yourself. 1,000 times worse. Be thankful someone did it for you. Another thing I think we should take a quick glance at here is the glossary in Appendix B, because it has some pretty good definitions and pretty straightforward answers to what a cyber attack is or cybersecurity. And then on top of that, like any good publication, it has a reference. Where did we pull this definition from? And right below the glossary, they also have a brief list of the acronyms they use in this document. So the actual document, the things that I would understand for the exam, is less than 50 pages. And if you're thinking, I'll download that later, stop and download it now. Because Nist is part of the US government, meaning if there's a government shutdown like there was in December of 2018 and January of 2019, the documents are not available. So if, for whatever reason, the government in the US shuts down, you have downloaded them already. Thank you, Pastor U, and thank you, Thor.